Here we're going to factor this. Now if you notice, I see a u cubed to the third power and a v to the third power. So more than likely this one is going to be the sum of two cubes. And if you remember, you need to separate this into its three equal parts. This one as well into its three equal parts. And we're going to do the little bunny rabbit thing. What you do is you take one of the parts from each one, right? And you place them in the first parentheses with the same symbol that you started with. On the other portion, we're going to try to walking from left to right, doing the bunny rabbit, which means that we're multiplying the first term by itself, right? We're here, we're just bouncing around. That gives us a squared. Then we need to cross over, so we're crossing our bridge. So that means that we're multiplying a times b. And of course, on this one, if you started with a plus, then this is going to be a minus. It's the opposite sign. The last one should always be a plus, because when you multiply it by itself, it'll give you b squared, and the signs really don't matter, because if you repeat the signs in multiplication, they'll become plus or positive. And that's the way you factor this. But if you have numbers in the front, see I have 250 and 432, how do you know that you can break those up into three pieces? You don't know, but you can find out. Let's go to the calculator, and here we have a function called the root. You know how you raise it to the power? You want the blue one, so that's control and then the raised button, and that gives you the option here to change your root. So in this case I want a third root, right? Then I move to the right and come in here, and I want 250. That was the first number. When I press enter, look at what I got. I didn't get a regular number, I got a bunch of weird stuff with fraction power and all that. When that happens, that means that you weren't able to get the third root of this evenly. Okay? So then I don't want to work with that. So I come back to my problem, and I see, okay, well maybe I can find the greatest common factor. And I see here that my last digits are 0 and 2, so for sure I should be able to divide by 2, right? If I divide this by 2, I get 125. If I divide this by 2, I get 216. So now I'm going to check these two numbers, 125 and 216. So I come back to my calculator. I'm going to see if I can get the third root, go to the right, of 125. Wow, it worked. See how I got a regular number? Okay, now I got to check the other one. Third root, third root of 216, and that gave me a 6. So they both worked. Come back to my problem. This one became 5u times 5u times 5u. I got my three identical parts that when I multiply them I get 125u cubed. This one was 6v times 6v times 6v. So again, you're going to take one of each, right? One of these and one of these. And you're going to put them in the first parentheses. 5u and 6v. With the same symbol. Now it just happened that we factored out the 2, so whatever you factor out, whether it's just once or several times, whatever you took out, you multiply them and you put them here, so it's just 2. Okay? On the second parentheses, you're going to do the bunny rabbit. 5 times 5 is 25, and then I have a u squared because there's 2 u's. Cross the bridge, I got to change the sign, and then 5 times 6 is 30, and I have a u and a v. Okay. And then I'm already over here, so I multiply the 6v, so 6 times 6 is 36, and then I have v squared, and that's it. You're pretty much done.